What's up, guys? Vape with Mr. J here.
In that mode.
And I went to the vape shop today. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But I did go to the vape shop last week and picked up a new RTA. And I spent quite a bit on it. It's a well-known brand, quite expensive. I wouldn't put it in the category of high-end, but it is something that's really well known and that somebody had recommended me to get. Although they recommended me to get the bigger version of this RTA, but I wasn't looking to spend over $100 for an RTA. Not happening. All right, so what did I get last week? Well, I got the Hive RTA. Now I spent $76 on this, and I just threw it on top of the Hexome version 3. Got the potentiometer maxed out, so it's firing at the full 6 volts, give or take. We do have to account for voltage drop and everything. And the juice I have in there is Humble Berry Blodo, which is a berry bubblegum e-juice, and I've been vaping on that for a week, which was really good. The coils I have in here is just some coils I threw together that I made with 22 gauge Canthol. So 22 gauge Canthol, 10 wrap, 3 millimeter inner diameter, coming in at around 0.3, give or take, and it's been vaping great. Flavor is excellent on it. It produces some decent clouds.
I like doing that sometimes. Putting a Jolly Rancher in my mouth. Hey,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cotton does it changed because I've been vaping on this cotton for the past week, so it's definitely going to need to be changed. Now, I do want to get into the main thing about this. So it does utilize a clamp post. So with that being said, your leads are going to have each lead is going to have to share a post with the other coil or the other lead. So just keep that in mind. Once you get the hang of it, the way I did it is I put one coil in, position it where I wanted it, which would be in this case right over the airflow, and that's where you center it up at. Then I tightened down the clamps, clipped, pulled it out, measured, like put it on a screwdriver, both coils on a screwdriver, measure the leads up, then put them in, and that's the way I did it. And I seen with our RDAs and RTAs that have clamps, I feel that's honestly, in my opinion, the best method to go about is to put one coil in, tighten it down, clip your leads, and then measure the leads up to the other leads on the other coil and clip the leads on the other coil to about the same. And yeah. Now, wicking this thing is not hard. It's actually really simple. More simple than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a pain in the ass because I usually have issues wicking RTAs. But this was a breeze, so. Um, uh, Cloud Chasers Incorporated has one left in stock, a red one to be exact, and it's about $70, give or take. Um, every person I've showed the Cloud Chasers Incorporated Hive to, they fell in love with it. I honestly love the color. It matches really well. It's got that whole Saint feel to it, even though this is more of like a rose gold adverse to like another gold. But I like this gold more, and it just fits well with the mod. And it's got a slight overhang, so it's definitely pushing the boundaries of the actual mod itself. Like as far as how big the mod is, it's kind of pushing those boundaries, but it's not noticeable. And it does come with two drip tips. It comes with a black Delrin and then this Ultim one, which I've been using the Ultim one because I feel like it gives me better airflow. It's not as restricted. But it's really good. Price is still high on it, but not really much you can do at that point. It's just it's an expensive company. A lot of their stuff is high. I think the Strife is what about the same price, around $70. So it's really it's honestly not that bad. Um, but the coils, I didn't have any pre-mades. I would have thrown some nice Claptons in there, but I didn't have any. and I don't have any 36 gauge or 34 gauge nichrome on me, because I would do Canthaw as the core, 26 gauge Canthaw as the core, and then 36 or yeah, about 36 gauge nichrome as the outer. So yeah. Plus, I don't have a drill either, so that's a no go. But once I get a drill again and get some 36 gauge nichrome, I already have 26 gauge Canthol, so I already got that. I could also go with 24 gauge Canthol, which I do have some in my Coil Master DIY kit version 3.0. But I would probably just go with 26. It's easier to work with as far as sculpting is concerned, and because of the sheer size of it, it's not going to be too thick, so it would fit in most posts. But yeah, enough of that. So on the clouds and the airflow, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Flavor is going to be about 4.5 to 5 out of 10. Flavor, it's a cloud chasing RTA, so the flavor, unless you crank the wattage up really high and you have decent coils that can handle tons of power, you're not really going to expecting too good of flavor production off this. But for cloud chasing, I mean, there's literally the company's name is Cloud Chasers Incorporated. All their stuff is geared towards cloud chasers, not really flavor chasers. So, but it is 28 millimeters in diameter. It does not use glass for the tank section. It actually uses Ultim, or not Ultim. Well, yeah, it does use Ultim. If I was thinking of Delrin, but it does use Ultim for the tank section. It seems to be pretty durable. I dropped it today. Dropped the tank when I was trying to change the batteries. So it seemed to survive. The tank's not cracked or anything. But other than that, I mean, the paint looks, or the coating looks good. Like, it's not like the cheap, crappy gold that you see on the U-Force tank from Vufu. You know, it's got that real cheap gold look. This is more of a little bit better looking gold. It does scratch up really easy because, again, it is a gold coating. It's gold plated. Um, but other than that, I mean, it looks good. It functions well. Paired with the Hexhelm version 3, it's a Cloud Chaser's dream, in my opinion. And high powered dual 18650 box mod, variable voltage, 180 watts, 30 amps maximum on the actual chipset itself. You just can't go wrong with it. The only downside to it is, if you can find them, they're expensive. They're around 150 to 100 or no, they're around about, I would say, 170 to $190, somewhere's around there. So they're not cheap box mods. I think they were even more when they first came out, but we're not going to get into that. So yeah, I would, if you can find it, I would recommend the HIVE RTA. Really nice. Vape's great if you're into clouds and everything. The downside to it, and Heathens pointed this out, and this is a big con in my opinion, is if you are going to get this, you cannot close the airflow completely down, because it has four sets of airflow, too big, too small. So when you start to try and get it fully closed off, the small one starts to open. So if you're a cloud chaser, this is for you. If you're a flavor chaser, look at a different RTA. I would say, like, either go with the Kensai, the Kylan. I think the Kylan 2 is out now. And yeah. So alright, so let's go ahead and get into what I got at the vape shop today. So I paid $45 for it. I picked up the Dead Rabbit RTA. When I got there, I asked for the Dead Rabbit RTA. I don't think the guy heard me that well, and he ended up selling me the Dead Rabbit V2. So when I got out, I went to look at it, see but it was the V2 RTA. So I took it back in and told him I wanted the RTA. Now, the only color they had in the RTA was stainless steel, which is not a big issue because I'm going to keep it on top of the Steam Crave Titan PWM mod. So run off the things that comes in here. So you get extra O-rings and stuff, extra post screws, or you actually get two different post screws. Pre-installed on here is going to be the flatheads, but you do have the hex heads post screws, and you do have extra O-rings. It does come with a little tool to undo the post screws. I did not look at the post or the little tool. I don't know if it's hex or flathead. But if you own like a tool kit or something, or like a coil building kit, you'll typically have the flathead screwdrivers. And if you have like one of the little tool kits I have on my desk, then you have the hex heads or Allen keys, or hex keys or Allen keys, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, you also do get a sticker in here as well as a user's manual, but it's pretty straightforward. It's an RTA that utilizes the Dead Rabbit style. So in here you got your little bag or a little box that includes extra parts as well as that little tool I was mentioning. And just go ahead and set this right here. So you get that in there. You do get a sticker like I had mentioned, and you get some other, and then you get the user manual. I would show you the sticker, but when I realized it came with a sticker, I put it on my laptop because I'm trying to cover up the back of my laptop with a bunch of stickers, not overlapping each other. That way, they're just nice. Alright, so this is what the RTA looks like. 25 millimeter. It's not super huge. I do have the 2 mil glass tube on it. I thought it came pre-installed with the 4 mil, but the 4 mil is a bubble tank or bubble glass tube. But 2 mils, I mean, I really don't need to go with the 4 mil option because I've been vaping on this. Like once I got done wicking it and everything, and like I put juice in it, I've just been vaping on it nonstop. And yeah, I'm not even at a. Well, I'm getting close to half a tank, so I really don't need to go with the 4 mil option or 4.5 mil option. It's just there if you need it. I see. I would say the only time you would ever need to go with the 4.5 mil option is if you have big juicy coils that can take tons of power, and it just drinks juice like it's nothing. That's the only time I could actually see that being useful. But for the coils I have in here, which we'll get into in a second, God, I love the way this thing vapes. So the juice I have in here because I also got some juice today as well. Again, from the Humble line or Humble Juice or Humble Juice Company. This one is Humble Blue Dazzle. Now the flavor profile on this is a blue raz cotton candy. Delicious. Now here's the thing. I bought this at a local convenience store in my area because that's where I've been buying my juice lately, because $17.99 for a 120, not bad. But when we're there today, because my grandparents need cigarettes, I know. I hate the fact that they smoke, but I keep telling them about vaping, but like they always say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, so. But I went in with them to get a bottle of juice, and I picked this one out, and they accidentally forgot to ring it up. So the guy's like, well, go ahead and ring them up and just sell it to him for $12.99. So I got a bottle of 120 milliliter e-juice for basically $13. That's crazy. Alright, so the coils. Well, actually, let's go ahead and do a review on the juice. So it does taste like blue raspberry. That's the first thing I noticed. It does taste a little bit like a cotton candy. It's not compared. It's not as. It's good. It's honestly good. It's better than the first cotton candy juice I ever tried. That just tastes like straight up burnt sugar. Like it was horrible. And but This one's good. It's got a really good cotton candy style flavor. So yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead give the flavor on a 6.5 out of 10. Really good. Delicious, in fact. Um I can vape that stuff all the time now. This is in 6 Nick. So when I first tried it, because I saturated my coils before I put the RTA back together, it was a mega throat hit. But now that it's the excess juices off the coils, it the hit kind of went down on it. So, but yeah. Hmm. Oh yeah, I want to talk about the way you wick this. It's actually quite simple. It was so simple. Like I didn't have to like. I took the tank back apart to make sure that the cotton was still moist, make sure it wasn't drying out because I don't want to get a burnt head at Well, we'll tell you where I'm vaping these once we get talking about what voltage I'm vaping this at once we talk about the coils. But everything seems to be wicking properly. Juice is wicking up like it should. Haven't had dry hits. So I'd say if you thin out your cotton a little bit, that way it's not too tight, and the wicking holes or the wicking slot, then you shouldn't have any issues. Now, actually building this RTA is what you would expect from a Dead Rabbit product. Same rabbit ear design, drop through. It's just overall it was easy to build. Uh, Someone who is looking into getting a rebuildable tank that's never actually did build before, super simple. So simple. Alright, so going back to the juice real quick. So let's go ahead and take a look at the clouds. Now, this is warm vape. Warmer than what I'm usually used to. But it's good. The airflow is good on it. Alright, so cloud production from the juice, or how good is the cloud production from the juice itself? Let's go ahead and see. Nice dense clouds. A lot of vapor production, as you can see. It's just completely fogged out back here. Um, I give the cloud production 7 out of 10. I think the ratio is a 70-30, which is typically what I'm used to vaping, either 70-30 or 80-20, or sometimes even max VG. But I typically vape juices that are 80-20 or 70-30. More so 70-30 because that's what's more common around here. Because 70-30s, you can run them in tanks, like sub-ohm tanks, and you can run them in RTAs, and even some of the little ego stuff, like you can run them in those as well, because it's thin enough, but not too thin, where it just completely leaks through. So yeah, but cloud production gonna be a 7 out of 10. It's decent. So, all right, let's go ahead and talk about the coil. So I picked these up for $10 at a local vape shop because finally somebody opened a local vape shop in my area. It's been there for quite some time now, and that's where I've been going for some stuff. Like I used to go there for juice, but juice is like $30 a bottle there, which is fine. Let me find my Pepsi. All right, so the coils. We've all heard of this brand before. Coil art. And this is a little container, coil art. Now these are super Clapton. By themselves, they read 0.7. Together, they read 0.4. And yeah. So kernel is 26 gauge as the core, which is kernel's another word for core. Found that out today. So 26 gauge for the core, 32 on the outside, wrapped with a 0.1 XD 0.9 flat. So these are Clapton, and then they are wrapped on the outside with ribbon wire. So, uh, great flavor, like superb flavor. Like, they take a lot of voltage to get going because there's a lot of metal there, or metal in the actual coil itself. So they do take a lot of power to actually get going. But once you find your sweet spot, in this case, my sweet spot is 6.5 volts, which is 106 watts on a point 0.4. The cloud production on them is pretty good. Uh, with any type of like exotic coil like Clapton's and all that, you do have to work with them a little bit longer to get all the hot spots out. So just keep that in mind. But for $10, the amount of coils, or for the amount of coils you get in here, not bad. He had another one, just regular Clapton, but I went with the Super Clapton because I've had regular Claptons before. They're okay, but I want to try something new. These kind of remind me of a Clapton. They're really nice. I wish I had a DSLR with a macro lens, that way I can get an up close shot of them. So yeah, but I only have my phone. I do have a digital camera, but the macro mode on that isn't as good as like kind of coming back with the phone a little bit, and then hit the 2x on the zoom. So yeah, but not much I can do. But ease of use, or softness of these coils, like as far as cutting them goes, it's pretty easy. Wire's kind of soft, so you're not like having to use a lot of pressure to actually clip them, compared to say 20 gauge Canthal or even some of the more exotic coils that are thicker and use bigger cores. But for $10, if you can find them online, I would definitely recommend them. Pretty good coils. Now they do use, I think it's Canthal A2. I could be wrong. I believe that's what Coil Arts one website said. I think it was Coil Arts website that it was Canthal A2. It would have been nice if they were Nichrome 80 or even 90, but can't really complain. So. But as you can see, the cloud production I'm getting off these coils inside this RTA is just absolutely amazing. Flavor is amazing. So, that's pretty much it. I do want to talk about the price of the Hexome and the Hive together. So I did the math. So this was $205. The Hexome, and I'll do the math again. Let's see. 205 plus 76, $281. So almost $300 for this setup. And while I highly recommend it, I know some people can't really afford that much. So yeah. But I personally like the setup. I've been using it for a while now. Like, I've just been using a mod for the past 2 weeks. I absolutely love the mod. And like, cause I really don't like taking the Titan out, but I might have to because the Titan provides more powers for these coils, while this coil right here, or the coils in here, can run off of 6.1 volts, which this only does about 6 volts maxed out with fresh sets.
My opinion, the most superior mod.
Yeah. It's the most superior in terms of amperage that it can handle and how much voltage it can actually put out. But the problem is it's just too heavy to carry out in public.
It is. It is.
But that quad battery, the way it's wired and everything, is just so convenient. You get good battery life off of it. Even, like, I've gotten decent battery life running max out on a single fucking big ass fucking coil at 8.4 volts.
This motherfucker lasts me 2 weeks on a single charge before. One.
So, But yeah, I would say the Hexome is a really good mod. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell to be alerted when we upload new videos. Anyways, I am Vaping with Mr. J,
Mode.
and we are signing out.